Sweet. All right, let's get this party started. All right, so as for this picture, I'm going to describe a little bit about what is being shown here. In this section, we're going to be talking about our blood types and all that jazz. Cool, so you'll see in this picture that we have four basic blood types. There's your O, type O, there's type A, type B, and type AB. And those are your four basic blood type groups. I guess there's more than 30 types of human blood group systems that are recognized by science, but I guess the most important ones are the ABO and also the RDH blood groups. If you haven't noticed in the or on this picture, there are positives and negatives. So that is what our RD or our RH group is. So, um, the fact that all of these are different, you can see how all of them have different markers on each blood cell. Those are representing that showing that they are the different kinds of blood group. And those are what we call antigens. And they either fight with each other or they're friends with each other. So that's why blood transfusions are kind of a big deal because of these antigens that are on our blood group or our blood type. So that is about that. Let's see, what else did I want to tell you about over here? Yeah, that's the basics of it. Let's get on to the next part. Okay, so you know how we just barely talked about the importance of those little antigens that are sticking out on the surface of red blood cells? So this is where it gets super important. As you can see on this picture, um, if you look at the very top strip of blood, now these are tests or blood tests to show what blood type you are. But if you notice that how they do this is by creating what's called agglutination. Now, agglutination is when antibodies are linking up to other red blood cells into clumps. And that is not good. Your body, obviously, you can't function if you don't have blood that is able to stream throughout your veins and stuff. So agglutination is not good, but that is what happens when you get the wrong type of blood type, like for transfusions and stuff like that, in your system. They're incompatible in the markers that are on your blood, and so your body sends out this red flag and is like, we have a foreign substance, so that's not good. That's why transfusions, um, it's important to know what type of blood you are so that you can be given the right type of blood in a transfusion, thus less likely to cause death. So anyways, yeah, there's a picture of what it looks like when you get a blood test done. So
Right,
there's
earlier
that.
we started talking a little bit about that antigen that is what that determines whether your blood type is positive or negative. So that is like a pretty common group of surface antigens that often coincides with the ABO blood group. And we call that the RHD blood group. Um, the it got its name basically because it was first discovered in the rhesus monkey. Now, the Rh blood group is um, a type of antigen. Again, like I said before, it determines whether it's a positive or negative. Um, and so we call those positive or that positive antigen because if you have a negative um, blood type, that just means there's an absence of that antigen. So if you are positive, then you do have that antigen on the surface of your blood, and they call that the D antigen. And that's why they call it the Rhd antigen, or the rhesus factor. So, yeah, an individual is considered to be either Rh positive or Rh negative, just depending on the presence or absence of the D antigen. So, that brings in the importance of this picture that I have displayed. See, if a Rh positive father um, and an Rh negative mother have a child, the possibility of that child being positive, Rh positive, creates problems if there is um, any passage of blood from the baby when it's born to the mother, because then the mother will recognize that the baby's blood as a foreign body, and obviously because it's a foreign antibody, the mother will start to attack the baby, which causes a condition, well, can cause a condition called hemolytic disease of the newborn. Now that's pretty scary, so it makes you want to make sure that, you know, proper precautions are taken when you have a child if you um, are married and your husband's Rh positive and you're Rh negative. But anyways, so what happens here is during pregnancy and like during delivery, um, the fetus's blood may cross the placenta and get into the mother's bloodstream, and again, that's how um, that's when the mother is going to start creating antibodies against her child. And so if she gets pregnant again, the and that child is Rh positive, then her body will immediately start creating antibodies to attack the baby. So, um, let's see. This causes a lot of problems in the baby that can, like, aside from death, if the baby survives, it could have a lot of problems when it's born. In our reading, it talks about how, if left untreated, this condition can cause agglutination, hemolysis, accompanied by excessive bilirubin accumulation, which creates jaundice and could eventually lead to fetal death. So it's a big deal for mothers to take precautions against this. So make sure you know your blood type, your husband's blood type, so that you can make sure you catch this before it becomes a problem. And how they take care of this basically is, or prevent it, is by injecting a compound known as RHOD immune globin. So they call it RhoGAM. And the RhoGAM injection contains a donor anti-Rh antibodies, and they bind to any Rh positive fetal erythrocytes that cross into the mother's bloodstream. And that counters the stimulus for maternal sensitization. Hooray! Save the baby. But if the RhoGAM injection hasn't been given to the mother before the maternal sensitization, then the HD can't be prevented in the event of a subsequent incompatible pregnancy. So if that baby is exposed and that mother is creating antibodies against it, there are possible treatments that include in vivo transfusions, maternal plasma exchange, preterm labor induction, post-delivery transfusion, and phototherapy for jaundice. So there's some treatments, and there's basically all that I've got for you today. Hope you enjoy.